That game has finished. West Ham United 3, Fulham 2. What a weird game of football. What an entertaining game of football, but an awful game of football. I was going to say it has a bit of everything. Actually, it didn't really have a bit of everything, but it was very, very dramatic, it has to be said. And I said before the game, when I saw that lineup, I thought the lineup was just terrible. I thought I couldn't honestly see how this particular concoction of slow players and midfielders was going to get anything from this game. I certainly didn't expect it to be a high-scoring game. Five-goal thriller? No way, I thought. But I said in the build-up, if Potter gets something from this, it'll be truly miraculous. And do you know what? It was. It really, really was. Fair play to him. Fair play to the team. I mean, it wasn't vintage stuff, and we really needed our luck. We really did. But it worked. It absolutely worked. And I think in the end, I mean, yes, did we get lucky? Yeah, a bit. Did we deserve to win? Well, sort of. Look, it's really hard to say that. Fulham had 21 shots and scored 2 goals. We had 4 shots and scored 3 goals. But it had to be that way. It just had to. We were never, ever, ever going to be able to dominate that game. I mean, Fulham hit the bar twice. 2 of our goals were mistakes. Absolutely direct mistakes from their goalkeeper Pereira as well. And we also scored a very, very good goal as well. Let me just make that point. Such a weird lineup. Let me just pull the lineup here. Now, you'll know what it is anyway, but I just want to sort of make the case of what it was. It started off Wan-Bissaka, Mavropanos, Kilman, Emerson, Alvarez Rodriguez, Souček, Paquetá. It's all midfielders. And then Kudus. And it was Kudus that was playing on the right. And that was really difficult as well for Kudus to be playing on the right, because there were so many times where there were 3 players on him. I thought, how come Fulham have got 3 players marking Kudus? And they were kicking him as well. He was getting fouled quite a lot. I thought, well, surely there must be space elsewhere. We just couldn't do anything about it. That was a hard watch at the start of that game. It really, really was. And I'm not going to pretend otherwise. I thought, start that game, oh yeah, it was unfolding as I suspected it might have done. Badly, basically. But gradually, bit by bit, we started clawing our way into the game. Wan-Bissaka got skinned early on. They hit the bar from the resulting attack. They had lots and lots of possession. We couldn't really string a pass together. We were surrendering possession. I mean, the stats sort of tell it all there, don't they? If I'm telling you that the stats that they had 21 shots, only 5 on target, to be fair, and then we only had 4. We had 4 shots, 3 on target, 3 of them were goals. I mean, I don't know what the stat is. The conversion ratio is very good. I'm sure we didn't have the old expected goals or whatever it's called. Probably wasn't too clever for us. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Just sometimes there are games where you've just got to get through and you just got to win. And the terrible hand that Graham Potter has been dealt with number 1, the West Ham squad he inherited. Number 2, the morale that the team has obviously had that he inherited, and then you've got to factor in the injuries as well. That's really, really hard. And I even if we'd have lost this, I wouldn't have gone heavy on Potter here. I wouldn't done, because this is not what he wants to play. It's not Graham Potter's dream to play what was, by and large, a number of defensive-minded midfielders. And no attackers, really. By the time Kudus went off and Kudus got replaced by Danny Ings, you're looking and you're thinking, this is not good. That being said, I mean, fair play to Ings. Came straight on, pressed the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper made a mistake, and we scored our 3rd goal. I'm jumping in here. Our first goal, Carlos Soler. I think it was Pereira played the ball across his own box, which you don't do. But it was a long way out, and Soler really stroked the ball home with a sort of curling long-range shot. It was a mistake, was it? It was an open goal. I think the goalkeeper wasn't great in the build-up to that goal, and it was. But it was still. It would have been easy to miss the goal. Let's put it that way. It was far enough out that it could be missed. He played well. Soler played well. He was playing in a sort of left-sided midfield. He was left. He might have been left. You could call it left wing if you want. And he hasn't looked great there whenever we've seen him play before. I thought he was really good. In fact, at the point where he went off, I actually thought he was West Ham's best player. And, and I really do think that, I was going to say I really think that Potter will appreciate that, but I was surprised to see him substituted, actually. And then obviously Potter didn't play him until very late in the previous game against Villa. But, I mean, he created West Ham's second. West Ham's second scored by Tomáš Souček, and we went 2-0 up. Half an hour, we're 2-0 up. We scored in the 31st minute, scored again in the 33rd minute. But he kept. It was a run by Mohamed Kudus, and again it didn't matter that he didn't release it and he was selfish because ultimately we scored from the move in the end. But there was an opportunity, and he just doesn't see that pass early enough. It's a little bit of a frustration with Kudus. Number one, his awareness of offside. He's not full Maxwell Cornet with the offside, but it ain't great. And he can be a little bit selfish, but he was getting battered in this game. And in many respects, everyone gets a free pass in this game, I think, really, considering it wasn't tough. There was no outball, you see. For much of the game, there was no outball. There was just no one, because Lucas Paquetá was playing as the false number 9 or whatever you want to call it. There was no pace on the counter-attack. So for so much of that, it almost up until the point we scored. Well, how are we going to even manage that? And the stats will bear that out. I think it might well have been. In fact, it was, because Paquetá's header at the end was the fourth shot when Ollie Scholes crossed it over. So I think we had 3 shots, and we'd scored 3 goals. We'd had 3 shots. So that tells you there was no outball and not an awful lot was happening. To be fair, Max Kilman did get the ball in the back of the net, but it was deemed offside, and that was from a free kick, very, very deep free kick. But Soler for the second goal, he kept, even though Kudus was a little bit greedy, Soler chipped it over, sort of switched the play, chipped it over from one side of the box to the other. Went to Wan-Bissaka, very good assist from Wan-Bissaka, very good. It's another one. This guy's amazing. I just really do. I think he's the next Ginger Pele. Whatever for now. I think he's the next West Ham cult hero. I just think he's a tremendous player. There's more skillful than Wan-Bissaka, but talk about impact on game and never say die attitude. There's one, maybe not quite a goal line clearance, but it was there. It was in front of goal, and he headed it away in an attack. But anyway, so yeah, he passed the ball back. It was almost like a little flick back, if you want, to Souček. And Souček's just, Souček didn't have the best passing in the world today, but he tried his heart out. He worked his arse off, which means if he tried his heart out and worked his arse off, he ended up with no arse and no heart. But he's got what he lacks in passing instinct. It all comes together when he's in the box. Not only he's got a poacher's instinct, he's got a poacher's technique. I think it's worth saying that. A lot is said about a goal-scoring instinct. The goal-scoring technique. How he becomes he's really technical. He's a really good technical finisher. This technique only applies to shooting, but not to passing. I've no idea. Actually, he did do one little trick in the second half, which got a sort of olé and a cheer from the crowd. But absolutely brilliant. The last goal, well, I've already described it earlier on. Danny Ings closed down the goalkeeper. He made a bit of a hash of it. And Paquetá, you could say there are similarities between our first and our third goal. Weren't carbon copies, but there were similarities. They scored a couple. It was Iwobi. Iwobi got them both, but he sort of shouldn't have done. There were those ones where the ball got delivered in. And it sort of escaped everybody. No one got the touch. I think certainly for their second, certainly Fabianski would have thought, I think was it Wilson or was it Jimenez? Whoever it was would have got a touch. He was expecting to get a touch. He didn't get a touch. I thought Alvarez backed off a little bit too much. I think it was the second goal. But, we can't complain that. I guess they did get a little bit lucky with the goals. I think there was certainly a confusion with the first one between Mavropanos and a lack of communication between Mavropanos and Fabianski. So, somebody didn't do so. Someone didn't. It's always hard. It's hard to blame. I never know which person to blame, but they didn't communicate. So somebody didn't do something in there. But there was elements of luck in Fulham's goals. For sure, but they probably did deserve the 2. Well, of course, they had 21 shots, and they hit the bar twice, and they'll probably feel hard done by. But we ground them down. I felt like we ground down their spirit. I thought we chose when to put the energy in and all the rest of it. And yeah, you know what? We're still giving up lots of chances to teams, and that was happening, you know, when Lopetegui was there. But it's honestly, this is not easy. These problems are not. They're not Graham Potter's problems. They've been there from under Lopetegui. They were there last season under David Moyes. There's clearly quite a lot to fix in the West Ham defence. And to be decimated this much by injury for the squad, to come away and get the win there, is really good. Really, really good. That was not pretty. Not pretty at all. But I loved it at the end. I loved seeing how pleased Potter was. I thought Irving came on as well, and I thought really passed the ball really neatly until he didn't, and they almost scored a goal as a result. Ollie Scholes came on, blocked a Traore cross. Then there was a sort of goalmouth scramble, and he just managed to get the ball away, and I think he put Traore off, who probably should have scored, but the commentator was going on about him missing, Traore missing, but I do think Scholes was so close. I think it blocks off most of the goal anyway, and then he set Scholes set Paquetá up at the end for, you know, with a decent. If that had been Fulkrug or it had been Souček, I think you might have been looking at a goal or certainly forcing a save from the keeper. It was a good cross from Scholes, who'd sprinted forward. It was scrappy. We were scrapping. There were mistakes. But we and as I say, that's why I wouldn't criticise any particular player. There was, I felt during the game, even though there was a mistake between Mavropanos and Fabianski, I still felt that Mavropanos did well. I think he's traumatised from everything that's happened, but I still saw an area of improvement. Did anybody see Todibo sat on the bench? Honestly, has anyone seen him? I think what are they called? What are they? Not. It's not a onesie. Is it a onesie? An oodie. Do you know what an oodie is? It's like half a dressing gown. It's all fluffy and it's got a hood, and you can get like oodies that have got like you can get them like with a hat and they got like ears on them. And you've probably seen them. You must know someone with an oodie that's sort of got a teddy. My daughter's got one. It's a teddy bear. She pulled a hood up and it's you know, and it's got ears on it and all the rest of it. Did you see Todibo on the bench? I don't know if it had ears, but I'm telling you now, that was a teddy bear oodie if ever I've seen it. Is that the name? An oodie? I'm doubting myself now. Anyway, it doesn't really matter, does it? I'm really pleased. I've been really looking forward to today's game, and I saw the team, and I was not looking forward to it at all. I thought, oh, this is going to be bad. And to be fair, for half an hour, it really was. Well, I guess it carried on being bad for after half an hour, but we won that. We won the game. We won the game, and we needed to. We needed to, because otherwise we get. That game stops any of this funny relegation nonsense. It takes the pressure. Graham Potter said something in the build-up to this game, which is, he said performances are more important. He didn't say performances are more important than results, but performances are really important. And if you get the performances right, then you'll get enough results. He said, but for the moment, results keep the wolves from the door. And he was absolutely right. This one keeps. This was a shit game of football, right? In terms of technique and passing, this is not the way Potter wanted to play. But this result keeps the Wolves from the door. And depending on other results, some teams have played tonight. I guess some teams are playing tomorrow. At the point I'm recording this, I think Liverpool and Forest are still playing at the point where I'm recording this now. But not that Liverpool and Forest have any impact on our league position, but we're above Man United and we're above Tottenham, but they've got to play. What it does, it puts us. They're still a long way away, I think, you know. But you know, it puts us a couple of wins away from, I think, even Fulham, which is, you know, if you can do that, if you can get some players back and we can sign a couple of players, then it actually gives you hope, and that's what this result does. The result's got me looking up the table, and I think that's really good. So well done. That was one of the. I've got to say, that's got to have been the slowest football team I've ever seen in my life, and that's saying something for West Ham. But well done. I mean, you know, I tell you what. I've just actually thought of it. There were times during the end on Lopetegui, particularly when he was getting just towards the end, where when we would score or we would do something, I felt so much of it was predicated upon what the individual players would do. That was the opposite today. That was team. That was a team ethic. That was a team performance. And I've got to say it, even Paquetá, who was really good. He was really, really good today, but also embarrassingly bad. This is paradoxically. His first dive was in the 14th minute, and it didn't really stop. I hated the fact that he kicked the ball out in the air, out at the end. I said this after the thing against Aston Villa with Leon Bailey, and he says, stop this. He acts like a cheat, and he expects everyone else to be a gentleman, and he's got to stop it. That being said, he really did fight for the team. He really did fight for the team today, and there were parts of his game which were really good. And I've got no criticism. Well, I've just criticised him, but you know what I mean. Overall, what a great team performance from everyone. Everyone did their bit. Even the guys that came on. I don't know if Kudus has got an injury. I don't know if he'd had a knock. Hopefully not. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. Maybe precautionary. Again, onwards and upwards to Palace. I hear. I heard, people are coming back from injury a little bit quicker than expected. Not Fulkrug. Let's sign someone. Let's give this manager a chance. Let's let this manager start to build. And anyway, I am delighted. I was so disappointed. Honestly, it's like a roller coaster day. Really looking forward to the game. As a team, hey, we're winning. If they cut back, now we've won. It's been a roller coaster day. I don't mind that. That's football. I'd rather that than flatlining all the way through. So yeah, really, really pleased. I'll catch up with you tomorrow.